When in reality, the only reason that content is being made is because it's benefiting the person who makes it. It's not helping out the people that they claim it is, and a lot of times it's actually at their expense. And one of the most common kinds of content that I see this problem arise is with...
Wait a second, make this make sense. I bet you this dude is all over Mr. Beast's meat, by the way. This YouTuber is trying to cancel me for doing pred catches. Video by the one and only Jidion Premium. Let's watch.
Yeah, YouTube, man, your boy's getting canceled again. You know, we got this YouTuber here. His name is August the Duck, and he titled his video, "This pred catcher has gone too far." Whoa. And funny enough, this is actually his second video that he's made about me. You know, he double backed on your boy, and basically,
Jidion loves smoke, bro. I don't know. Jidion is a very smiley, pleasant kind of guy. Real nice dude. But Jidion loves smoke. Don't get it twisted. He likes this.
The thing that he critiques about me in this video is the thing that you would just least believe. Like, you would think out of all the things you can critique about my pred catches, the thing that he actually goes in and harps about is like, what? But man, without any further ado, let's get into this, man, and let's see what he got to say.
Now, we've talked many times about content creators who make content that is thinly veiled as this attempt to like better society or benefit the people around them.
Whoa! This dude's a hater. Can you hear it in his voice?
When in reality, the only reason that content is being made is because it's benefiting the person who makes it. It's not helping out the people that they claim it is, and a lot of times it's actually at their expense. And one of the most common kinds of content that I see this problem arise is with...
Wait a second, make this make sense. I bet you this dude is all over Mr. Beast's meat, by the way. Maybe not anymore, but before all of the BS with Mr. Beast popped off, I bet you this looked like the kind of guy who would have been bouncing on that Mr. Beast. Let me chill. Jidion is literally taking actual criminals off the street. People who are actually hurting children. Now, is he making a ridiculous bag while he's doing it? Yeah, he is. But you know what I call that? I call that being effective and efficient. Saving the world and getting rich at the same time. Nigga, who can hate on that? Most people can only do one. Most people can only get rich and actually hurt people in the process or step on people in the process. Or they save the world. Cops, police officers, same thing. Firefighters, doctors, nurses. These people don't really get breaded up, though. Jidion is over here raking in stupid money, 6 figures a month, probably, while he's taking off the street. All right, man. What is he gonna say?
The whole catching genre that seems to be pretty popular these days. And today, I feel like I have some pretty strong evidence that one of the biggest guys who does this is maybe not in it for the right reasons.
So Duck, the commentary YouTuber who makes videos about Jack Doherty and multiple videos about me and internet drama, says that he has solid evidence that shows that I am not in this for the quote-unquote right reasons. Really, in this instance, the only opinions that matter to me and that I actually would take to heart is what my audience thinks, what my family thinks, what the police departments think, and most importantly, what my peers that are also in the pred catching community think. Those are the opinions that I care about, and I think that those go way further than a commentary YouTuber. But let's get into his evidence.
Perfect. Basically, I don't really think the whole catching genre
Facts.
of content is one that really belongs on YouTube. I don't really think it's one that should be made at all.
So Duck, you don't think that this content should be made at all, but on your channel, Chris Hansen is actually one of your favorite creators and you make multiple videos about him. And I saw this clip of you saying this right here.
And I used to cover the show To Catch a quite often. I love that show. I think it's morbidly hilarious. And I think what Chris Hansen did was very valuable.
So help me out real quick.
Got him! You played yourself.
You know what I'm saying? That's tough.
Packed up.
Quick duck. I don't know if you know this, but Chris Hansen actually posts all his catches on YouTube. So my question to you is, should Chris Hansen stop posting these catches on YouTube? And also, should he stop doing it entirely?
I don't really think it's one that should be made at all.
You see, I'm in the belief that this is a very, very dangerous rhetoric, because just on my channel alone, we have caught multiple registered offenders that have actual victims that have been let out and are trying to do it again. So I know you're in the belief that, you know, predator catchers really don't help anything, but, you know, I think me and my audience are in the belief that we do help. I mean, if you guys watch my videos, we literally have police commending us on the work that we do.
Look, man, look, so I respect the hell out of what y'all do, because
Bro, this August a duck dude, he just got packed up, bro. All we got to do is slap on the shipping label because he's out of here.
I agree with it 100%.
The cops are praising Jidion. Get off bro meat, man.
These guys, those type of people need to get caught. So I'm going to do my justice and write up what I know and everything like that.
Y'all be safe, man, doing this, man.
Well, yes, sir. Thank you. Do you guys need anything else from us?
I'll give you a call.
Yes, sir.
All right, bro, be safe. Good job, guys. Another one bites the dust.
Thank you. And then, not even addressing me, there's multiple channels out there with 100+ convictions, not arrests, conviction. Alex Rosen, People vs. Predators, Black Hebrew. These men all together have almost over 500 convictions of predators that are trying to prey on children. I think that is something that should stay on YouTube, and I think that is something that should be created.
1000%. I can only imagine how many dudes, Jidion and these dudes, they're really like Batman. If you ever watch Batman, the criminals, they're doing their thing and they're like, what the fuck was that? What was that? I think now dudes who would be in these child spaces, Roblox, chat rooms, preying on little children, they think twice because they're scared they might end up in a YouTube video and then end up in jail.
And I mean,
if anything, they're more scared of the YouTube video than jail, because when they go to jail under normal circumstances, no one really hears about it. Maybe their friends and family and the immediate community. You get caught in a Jidion video or one of these other exposed channels, but especially Jidion, millions of people are going to see that. So I'm sure it's striking fear into the hearts of many of these would-be assailants.
Duck, if we weren't able to post these on YouTube and if we weren't able to create them, how else would you react to these Chris Hansen videos, man?
To Catch a Predator might just be one of the greatest TV shows ever created.
Stop the cap.
But before we begin, I want to talk about today's video sponsor, MyHeritage.
Wow!
No. We're not gonna give you no ad time here.
Bro, wow. And you threw an ad in this bitch? Wow, what a guy.
But this ad is gonna come up later. Trust me.
And let's get back to it. Personally, I'm of the opinion that people really shouldn't be taking the law into their own hands, especially when it comes to something as sensitive as this.
I just love that he's trying to make this point, because the point of a vigilante is someone that takes the law into their own hand.
Right.
But the thing about people like me, Oma, Skeeter, Alex, is we don't take the law into our own hands. We report everything to the police. We are snitches. We love the police. That's why every single video, we always get the police involved. Now, I got a question for you guys. If someone had a drug dealer hit them up, and said drug dealer said, hey, I want to meet you here to sell you drugs. And you got to go meet them there, and they confess to you to everything, saying, yes, I have the drugs and I do want to sell it to you. You then call the police, and the police arrive and they arrest them. Are you a vigilante? Or are you just a citizen reporting a crime? It's the same thing with these EDPs. They come out, they admit that they're coming to meet a young cupcake, and all we do is just report it to the authorities. We are just citizens.
Do I support the guys who are doing stuff like that? Well, no, not really. But also, I don't really care if you find yourself in a situation like that, because you shouldn't have been putting yourself in a situation like that. So don't give me...
Dude, and there are people who you could legitimately criticize trying to do this pred catch thing. There are guys who aren't getting the police involved. They are getting violent and physical with the people who they're setting up. And so if you wanted to make criticisms for them, sure, have at it. But Jidion is working with the police. I've never seen him put hands on anybody. And he is taking terrible people off the streets. This guy's just a hater.
Don't get me wrong, the treatment or like the consequences that these guys face.
Maybe one of his uncles got packed up in a Jidion video and we don't know about it, and so he's salty.
Is not the issue I have with this content. If anything, it's really the lack of consequences that they face and the reasons that the guys making this content are doing it. Some are better than others, don't get me wrong. Some of these channels seem to have managed to get in with local law enforcement, or they've developed a better understanding of what exactly they need for the cops to actually be able to do something. But still, you should probably just be leaving this kind of shit up to, you know, law enforcement.
I mean, I agree as well. I wish that all these dudes would face legal consequences. From all the groups that I've worked with, from Oma to Skeeter to Alex to so many others of my decoys that do it on their own, I know that every single case is solid and these dudes are guilty and they should all be convicted. But you're making it out here seeming like, yo, these dudes are just getting out scot-free and, you know, there's no consequences. Brother, this video that you made is about me. So me alone, I have almost 4 million subscribers, and each of my videos literally get millions upon millions of views just on YouTube. That's not even counting Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, all those other platforms. And so you're telling me that a guy that's getting blasted out to millions upon millions of people to be known as a predator, that isn't a consequence? I don't know about that, buddy.
Because a lot of the times these guys aren't working with the police.
It's an excellent point. Public shaming. Better than nothing.
Or they don't get the right information, they don't capture the right evidence, and all they've done is create a more careful predator who's going to face no consequences. And if you can't understand why people creating more careful and more aware predators while they're trying to put predators behind bars is a bad thing, well, don't know how to explain that one to you.
Well, I don't know how to explain to you that it's hard to be a careful predator when everybody in the world knows that you're a predator, but I can't explain that one.
Also, let's apply this logic to something else. If you make it harder to steal from the store, what happens? Yes, sure, you have some people who are very determined to steal who will get better, but a large portion of the people who would have stolen before when it was easier to steal, they are now dissuaded from stealing. So is it possible that you have some kind of super predator out there that because he is aware that there are these sting operations going on, and now you have not just the police and the FBI, but you also have guys like Jidion doing this thing, are them being aware of that? Is it possible that they are that much more careful? Yeah, but those are people who are dead set on hurting people regardless. They're in it for the love of the game. But maybe some dude who is just like kind of weird and has these perverted fantasies, he sees this and he gets shook and he gets scared and he's like, you know what? Never mind.
But like I was saying, one of the main issues I have with this kind of content and what we're really talking about today is I think a lot of the guys who do this almost forget, I guess, what exactly it is they're doing and what the goal really should be. Because like I was saying earlier, I think a lot of these dudes end up doing this only to benefit themselves, not really to protect potential victims of child predators. And to sort of highlight this, we're going to be looking at this clip from our old friend Jidion.
So now that he's about to talk about me, there's a couple things that I realized while watching his video that I wanted to point out to you guys. In this particular video, sadly, we did not get the arrest, but We did call the authorities, they did put him in cuffs, and they did take his phone and everything, and they made a report about him. But what I realized is in August's video, he never at one point showed any of the police presence in the original video. All he showed in the background is just me talking to the guy. So I just find it funny how he talks about, yeah, they never get police involved or anything like that. And while he's showing a visual representation of no police getting involved, when in fact in the original video, we did have police involved. And I also find it funny that out of all the videos to make a video about me in, he decides to pick one where we didn't get the arrest, but the 3 before that, we literally got arrested in all 3 of those. So I just find it funny that he specifically picks the video that we didn't end up getting the arrest, and he specifically doesn't show any of the police presence. And later on in the video, I noticed another thing, but I'm gonna get into that later.
The clip that we're talking about today kind of caught me off guard because a lot of people have sent me Jidion's predator catching content, and really, if I'm being completely honest, I thought it was kind of some of the better stuff on YouTube when it comes to that genre. It's not perfect, don't get me wrong, I still wouldn't call it like good necessarily. It has all the issues that all this kind of content has, but Jidion does seem to normally try and get what the police need to do something, and a lot of his videos do end with these guys getting arrested. Now, I don't know how many of them have actually been charged. It's probably not that many. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Correct me if I am, please.
You see, if you're gonna be making a video critiquing me, I think it should be in the best interest, not even for yourself, but for your audience that doesn't know who I am, to at least do the bare minimum of research. But since you said, please correct me, let me help you out.
But it does seem like the majority.
That's a lot of people. And how many children need to be saved from being abused by predators to make Jidion's efforts worth it? I tell you what, if that child was your child or a family member of yours that you loved, you wouldn't care. You wouldn't care if none of the people he did a sting operation got arrested. If that one person who would have otherwise hurt your daughter or your niece or your cousin or little sister, if that guy was stopped and caught because of Jidion's efforts, you would have been like, it's all worth it. And so, again, this is just a hater, man. This dude's a hater, and he's just looking for content to put out because he has no creativity and has to just talk about people every day. Don't you hate YouTubers like that?
Of these videos do end.
Nah, but I have an animation channel. I'm creative as fuck. This is
with the
just
guy in cuffs.
This is just my side hustle.
He seems to generally take it pretty seriously. He's not just going out trying to like beat these guys up for fun. He confronts them professionally. It doesn't ever seem like he's really just trying to get a rise out of somebody for content. For the most part, it's pretty level-headed stuff. And as far as the genre goes, like I said, it's some of the better stuff on YouTube, I think.
Thank you for the glaze, even though it was only for 20 seconds. And, you know, you kind of did spend the first 5 minutes of the video kind of subliminally comparing me to the other people, you know, and we all know not everybody watches the entire video, but I do appreciate the glaze. But I do want to talk about the video title, because the video title is "This Prey Catcher Has Went Too Far." You know, I made a similar video with almost that exact same title, but those prey catchers that I was talking about in the example that I used was literally a YouTuber shooting a predator in the face with a paintball gun and not calling the police at all. And then my other example was literally 30 college students setting up a 21-year-old with an 18-year-old. And when that 21-year-old met said 18-year-old, they then attacked him and called him a P3DO. So those are my examples for these prey catchers went too far. So I'm just so curious, what could I have done that could warrant that title, in your opinion?
I think a lot of these guys sort of get to a point where they almost start to forget what they're doing, and maybe that's what we're seeing here. I'm going to show you guys the clip in full, and then we're going to go through it.
Wait, wait, hold up. You made a 15-minute long video about me because you don't like the meme ad that I use to promote my website that I use to fund my operations and pay my employees? So I got this whole video made about me because I put an ad in a preg catch video, and I guess he doesn't like that. But I also find it coincidental that you put an ad in a video about you not liking an ad in a preg catching video.
But before we begin, I want to talk about today's video sponsor, MyHeritage.
And I'm not dissing you on the fact that, you put an ad in your video, get your bag. I just find it kind of weird that out of your last 18 videos, and you guys can go check, I counted, this is the only video that has an ad in it. So I just find it really coincidental that out of all the videos you could have put a MyHeritage ad in your videos, you chose the video that you don't like an ad about. I don't know, I just find that funny, y'all. I just find that funny.
Yeah, also, I'm sure this guy is well aware that those two catch a parade videos by Chris Hansen that was on cable, those have commercial breaks, right? That show also needed funding. That was not done out of the goodness of the hearts of the producers of that TV network. They needed to run ads to make money so that they could make a profit and make their shareholders and CEOs and not employees, but owners very wealthy, but also to fund Chris Hansen's television series. This is no different. And this is something that has been going on forever for whatever reason. YouTubers who get just as many views and provide just as much entertainment for people, their audiences, for some reason, when they try to sell products or do ads or put ads on their videos, people complain as if YouTubers who have way less resources to work with and have to really just get this shit out of the mud on their own are demonized for doing the exact same thing that we just take for granted that are being done by these major corporations with super deep pockets. Is what it is.
But I really can't help but feel like editing something like this and making something where you're talking about what Jidion's talking about here in this style is in poor taste. To me, it's just a genre of content that should be treated a little bit more seriously because these guys are trying to catch these.
It's not like Jidion is doing steak ads. He's not doing gambling ads. He's not even doing silly ads that would feel distasteful. He's literally advertising his own platform, his own product that is specifically for the sake of furthering this mission of taking these people off the streets. Wow, this guy, he's really, and I've seen some of his videos before and I've watched them and thought they were good, whatever topic he was covering. Really, I got introduced to him during the Mr. Beast drama stuff, and once that died down, I really haven't seen him anymore. But man, this guy is truly a hater.
Predators. That's a completely different thing than, for example, making a video where you make fun of somebody who was on the show to catch a predator. Because when you're watching that show, you know that those guys are fucked. That show was done with law enforcement. They all got arrested. Like, you knew what was going to happen to them. With these guys, it's not really the same thing. Like, it's kind of weird to edit a video in this style when, like I mentioned earlier, you could just be making a significantly more safe, cautious, and aware predator who's going to be a more effective predator.
And you know what? You're totally entitled to your own opinion, and I'm actually gonna ask my audience, do you guys think I should tone down the ad? Do you guys think I should just make it just,
Nah, fuck that nigga. In fact, put more of them bitches in those videos. Put 2 more ads in that bitch, bro.
Just a regular thing. I want to hear what you guys have to think. Bro, I don't know if Duck thinks I'm out here being like a mad scientist or something, creating super predators and stuff like that. But Duck, listen, my man, literally every single time we make these videos, we always get law enforcement involved. They get their names, they get all their information. If they make the arrest, boom, they're in the system. If they don't make the arrest, boom, they're still in the system because they're making reports on them and they're taking their phones and they're doing all this, yada, yada, yada. And then also on top of all that, we're then and blasting their face out to millions of people so that way their local community or maybe wherever else they may go to knows what these people are about. So, you know, I don't know why you keep on saying I'm making super predators. It's hard to be a super predator when everybody knows you're a predator.
Like, we're talking about catching people who want to prey on children. Maybe limit it to one explosion effect? I don't know. Just a thought. Also, like, using EDP as like a meme in this advertisement seems like really, really poor taste, because that's like one of the biggest examples of how this stuff usually ends. EDP didn't go to jail. Nothing happened to EDP. Sure, he was banned off YouTube, but like, he didn't go to jail and then he got caught trying to do it again. Like, you're kind of exposing yourself here, guys. You're using the most famous example of why your content is kind of a bad thing and doesn't really work as a way to advertise your content. You're kind of showing your hand there that you don't really care if these guys don't actually end up going to jail.
Doug, how does it make any remote sense that I don't care about making sure that these guys go to jail because I use EDP as my advertisement? The reason why I use EDP is because he is synonymous with being a P3DO, because he made his name synonymous with being a P3DO. When you're a monster and you do something monstrous like that, your name's gonna always be associated with that. The same reason why we say Diddy all the time. Whenever you do something gross and disgusting, your name is gonna be associated with that. And I'm not gonna just let it fizzle out, you know? We're gonna make sure it lives on forever and ever. I know you probably want it to fizzle out and no one talk about EDP again, but I think we all should always talk about him because we all should remember what he did.
Well, maybe that's the first thing in this whole video that I somewhat disagree with, especially with Jidion being a Christian. Now, I'm not a Christian anymore, so I could be a piece of shit if I wanted to, right? But with Jidion being a Christian and EDP having, at least the last time I checked, repented, he's apologized, he's acknowledged the wrongs that he's done in the past. I'm not saying he should be reinstated on YouTube or anything, but one could make the argument that Jidion should, it's a little overkill to, it's like, damn, this nigga will never move past this shit forever and ever. As long as Jidion is famous and is doing this, his name is going to be associated with that stuff, even if he moves past it, even if he doesn't do that shit anymore and he's tried to atone for his past ways to whatever degree he is capable of doing that. I think that's a fair enough criticism where that's concerned. However, to say that unless the person goes to prison, the reason these people aren't going to jail is because they aren't actually committing the crime a lot of the times, right? Like, what was EDP supposed to go to jail for? He didn't actually link up with a minor. Now, he did at other points, I think. I don't know EDP's story that intimately, but that's the whole point of the sting operation. It's trying to stop it before it gets to the point where they actually commit the crime. And if they can get caught or charged with other things like having CP or things of that nature, then great, you know, cut them off before they actually get to the point where they hurt a child. But when a guy like EDP gets packed up, he is now no longer able to prey upon his audience like he used to do under the radar. So that's why I believe what was done to EDP was still beneficial, was still a good thing for the safety of the YouTube audience in general. I think that is an unfair criticism to say, if you don't get the guy in handcuffs, despite the fact that you have now made him infamous, his face is known anywhere, everywhere, his community, his friends, his job, they all are aware of this. This person's now on the police radar. They are probably now paranoid as fuck in regards to ever trying to do that again, because shit, maybe the police are watching me. Maybe this is another decoy. Maybe they're trying to get me tripped up. I think all of those consequences are still worth it, especially if it's done before a person actually gets the opportunity to strike. Because, and I'll end here before we move on, if it wasn't a decoy, it would have been a real kid. And now what? You're saying this is somehow worse than the kid, an actual kid being hurt? Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me.
Thirdly, it seems like conversations between a predator and what they think is a minor is a really, really strange thing to lock behind a paywall. Like, why would you want to read that? I mean, you want to read the chats between a guy role-playing as a little girl or a little boy and a man who thinks that they are a little girl or a little boy? Why the fuck would you pay for that? Like, that's crazy behavior.
Why the fuck do you care? If people want to pay for it, they want to pay for it. It's a real thing that's actually happening. And if people want to observe and so that they can understand the mind of a predator, so that maybe they can have that awareness when they have children, what they could see as red flags when, you know, if they ever feel like investigating who their children are talking to in chat rooms, or if people just want to see it just for the spectacle of it, and by doing so, helping Jidion to continue to do the work that he's doing, who gives a fuck? It's not illegal. It's not hurting anybody. So why do you care? You're just a hater.
Selling it is just as weird. Like, you realize that's what you're doing, right, Jidion? You're essentially selling child predator roleplay transcripts. That's weird, dude.
Is it though? I mean, in Chris Hansen's videos, he literally does the readings of what these guys are talking about. Is it weird to read that stuff? If I could make it free for the internet to read, I would, because it would just show the internet even more that these dudes are guilty. But YouTube doesn't allow that type of content on the platform. So I have it behind a paywall for only $4.45 a month, and people can read it and they can get a better grasp on, wow, this dude is even worse than I thought from what I seen in the video. I mean, this might be hard for you to realize, but not all 13,000 of my members on edpwatch.com are subscribed to the website to read the chat logs or be in the giveaway or even to watch the extended early cuts and all that. Some of them literally just pay because they appreciate the work that we do and they want to support financially. I mean, I could say the same thing about why people would even buy your Patreon.
God damn. Y'all seen that number? You said $4.99, right? That's $5. So bro's making 65 bands a month just off of his website, bro. Oh my God. Oh my God. What?
Back in the day. Like, I don't know what you could have had behind that paywall that people wanted to pay for, but
and then how much is he making off the YouTube video? You doing all right, Jidion. You doing all right, man.
I'm guessing that they just wanted to support you. It just sucks that you took it down. So it's weird to read the chat log, but it's not weird to watch it on stream, right?
I can't go to jail. My life would be ruined.
Right.
Could be locked up for 20 years.
Yep.
And then you say, do you trim your blank?
Okay.
Jesus,
Like, you know,
Jeff.
Right?
And then the whole, like, Disney sweepstakes shit where it's like, you can win a predator catching experience. Like, are you shitting me? Jidion fans got really mad at me the last time I said this, but I'm going to say it again. I'd have a really hard time believing that, like, the average Jidion fan is an adult. If you just read through the comments on his channel, you can kind of tell that that's, like, not the case. Like, look, I'm going to give Jidion the benefit of the doubt here and say that if he ever did this, that he'd probably make sure that it was an adult. But, I mean, he doesn't say that in this advertisement, which you have to. So I don't know, man. That's just a little wacky for me. A little much. Again, even if he did say adults only, treating this as some sort of like fun, cool experience, like you would be meeting a person who wants to have sex with a child. Who the fuck wants to do that?
Every video that he makes about me, he has to always throw a shot at my fans. But to none the least, I do agree with him on this. The winner of the sweepstake is gonna be 18 or older. Like, I should have put that in there. It was in my mind to put that in there, but I'm gonna make sure in the next video that it is. So you are 1,000% right on that, Duck. But at the end of the day, what's weird about wanting to get a child predator arrested and also meeting your favorite YouTuber? I mean, you're a huge fan of Chris Hansen. If you want a giveaway to go do a catch with Chris Hansen, Duck, be honest with me. Would you tell him no?
To Catch a Predator might just be one of the greatest TV shows ever created. And I really think...
Yeah, he probably would take him up on that offer, right? Also, how is it different than riding along with a police officer? Police officers part of their job is catching predators. If you went on a ride along with a police officer, you have to be willing to, go to a situation like that. So again, just a hater.
I think the fact that Jidion or his team or whoever put this together thinks that the average person would be interested in that enough to pay for it really sort of shows some true colors and is indicative.
Again, these guys are heroes. Fuck what this duck nigga saying. If you're saving children, if you even, your work stops even one child from being SA'd, I don't give a fuck, nigga. I don't care what. Sell your fucking sweepstakes, whatever, bro. I don't care. Why? Because I know personally people who were damaged as children as a result of this shit. And I mean, there is no amount of money that I would spare if I would have been able to get somebody like a Jidion to stop that person from hurting that person that I loved. So, but I don't know, man. This is such a weirdo thing to criticize or to attack. I get it when they don't do it right and they're attacking the dude and they don't get the police involved and they're being vigilantes. I get that. But to come for dudes like Jidion who are doing shit like this, one of the biggest things I actually admired about Jidion doing this, he became a Christian and he's still a Christian. He's a Torah-keeping Christian, but whatever. Christian nonetheless. Believes in Jesus and all that. And I was curious, how was a guy like that? See, I gave it all up. When I became religious for 3 years, I just iced my YouTube career completely. I tried to make Christian content, but it was nothing compared to the success I was having before I went on my religious journey. And I was like, how is Jidion going to do it? Is he going to do the same thing? Is he just going to ice his YouTube career and just try to tunnel vision to religious shit? And then when I saw him doing this, I was like, he fucking did it. He figured out a kind of content that's entertaining, very successful, can still generate a lot of money, and I honestly thought was doing good for society. Even though, yeah, sometimes there were some crass jokes and all that, and I don't give a fuck about that shit now, clearly. But when I was hyper religious, that was the only thing I was like, oh, you could tone down the dick jokes a little bit. But beyond that, I was like, nigga, fuck it. Do your thing, man. And so for this dude who probably isn't religious at all, you know what I'm saying? Probably if you asked him, do you think children should be given gender affirming surgeries? He probably would say yes. This that kind of dude. I get that vibe from him. You know what I'm saying? I have no problem with adults doing whatever, but personally, I believe if children can't smoke, drink, get tattoos like that, then that kind of stuff should be off the table as well. But anyway, that's kind of a side thing. We'll keep it pushing. We're almost done.
Of these guys not doing this for the right reason. You should not be having fun doing this. Reading chat logs from guys who have no issue exploiting and ruining the lives of children, meeting up with them, making jokes about it. These are not things that I think you should really want to do.
So Duck, you're mad at me for doing something that I know that my audience that love watching the prey catching videos would love to be a part of. Like, I mean, I know it's weird to you, but to shame a bunch of other people for wanting to participate in that, I think is a little bit beneath you, man. And I honestly thought better of you. All of a sudden, my paywall all of a sudden just discredits everything that I've done, and it automatically shows like, oh, yep, he's making money, so he's doing this for the wrong reason. Of course I have to make money. I have a team of over 20 people. That is how we're able to post 2 catches a week. We're traveling all over the US, Airbnbs, decoys, security, filmers, a whole bunch of editors. Yes, I need money so that way we can take care of all our people, because it's not just me doing the Lord's work. Everybody that works for me, I consider them the exact same way, and everybody that watches the videos and support, I consider that they're helping this cause too. So it's a problem when I have a paywall, but it's not a problem when your GOAT has a paywall.
There are more than 100 episodes on our streaming service, ad-free and uncensored, at watchtrueblue.com. Use the code YouTube24 to watch them all for $2.50, or YouTube Year for $20 off an annual subscription.
Maybe they're seeing it differently. I don't really know how you would. To me, there is no reasonable explanation on the planet as to why you would be trying to sell the chat and audio logs of child, and I don't think there's a logical or reasonable explanation for the people buying it either. Everybody's weird in this. Well, guys, what do you think?
So yeah, guys, he hit us with the weird allegations. Those are the one
Yeah, man, the only weirdo I seen this video is a dude trying to come at Jidion over this topic, man. There are so many things worth criticizing on the internet. This, definitely not one of them. It's a mixture of being a hater and a weirdo. That's really all I see here. But you let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching. Like the video, subscribe, all of that.